Compassion. When Jesus came ashore at Capernaum, people once again crowded around him at the water's edge. Jairus, one of the leaders of the synagogue, arrived and fell on his knees before him. "My daughter is dying," he said. Please come quickly and lay your hands upon her, so she will be healed and live." Jesus agreed at once, and accompanied him, with the crowd jostling on all sides. On the way, they passed by a woman who had been ritually unclean for the last 12 years, as she suffered from constant internal bleeding. She lived as an outcast with unremitting pain every day, and despite spending all her money on so-called cures, was more unwell than ever. She was utterly desperate. As Jesus passed by, she stretched out a hand unnoticed in the midst of the milling crowd and touched the edge of Jesus' cloak, because she believed if she did so, she would be healed. At once she sensed her body change and the bleeding stop. At that same moment Jesus knew that power had gone from him, so he stopped and looked all around. "Someone touched me," he said. "Who touched my clothes?" The disciples were at a complete loss. "Jesus," they said, "we are being jostled from all sides, and you ask, 'Who touched me?'" But Jesus kept looking into the crowd to see who it was. Then the woman who knew she had been healed understood that she would have to come forward despite her fears of the people. She fell down at Jesus' feet and through her tears told him what she had done. Jesus helped her stand up and said gently to her, "My daughter, your faith has made you well again. Go in peace and free from your suffering." While he was speaking, some men from Jairus' household pressed through the crowd. "Sir," they said to Jairus, "your daughter has died. There is no need to bother Jesus any more." Ignoring them, however, Jesus said to Jairus, "Don't be frightened. Have faith." At the house there was a great deal of commotion, with ritual mourners already loudly crying and wailing. Jesus said to them, "Why all this noisy weeping? The child isn't dead. She is simply asleep." At which they stopped their wailing and laughed in his face. Jesus instructed everyone except Jairus, Peter, James, and John to leave the house, and they went to the child's room. Jesus took her hand and said, "Talitha koum," which means, "Little girl, get up." Immediately she opened her eyes, got out of bed, and ran to her father. She too was 12 years old. Everyone was utterly astonished. Jesus then told them all not to say anything, but instead to go and give the girl some food. Later, back on the road, 2 blind men shouted to Jesus to have pity on them. Jesus turned and said, "Do you believe that I can give you your sight?" And they immediately replied, "Yes, Lord, we do." So Jesus touched their eyes, saying, "Your faith has healed you." And at once both could see. "Do not speak of this to anyone," Jesus said. But they ignored his instructions and told everyone they met what had happened. Everywhere Jesus went, he taught the crowd and healed the sick. His compassion for the lost and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd, was limitless. He said to his disciples, "The harvest is great, but the workers are few. You must pray for more workers." 12 years of healing in his hands and feet, his word, his clothing, powered by faith in those who seek his knowing. Noisome crowds, caught up in rites and rituals of dying, shut out from the intimacy of resurrection which beggars belief. sheep without a shepherd, vineyard without workers, compassion in the very dust and air.